Hello, what's up, what's up? Welcome to another episode of On the Mic with Michael Flix. This one's very special. This is actually the first guest I ever had on the Mic with Michael Flix. I'm not sure if it's been a year yet, but the very first guest I ever had, as soon as I got a show, this is the first man I had on, so this is real special, man. This guy's been up to a lot lately, man. Was on one of the best teams in the country in high school, took a basketball scholarship, and became an entrepreneur and decided to go another route. I'm happy to have my guy Bryson back on the show, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. So I know a little bit about what you've been up to, but other than what I just named, what you been up to, man?
So pretty much I'm an entrepreneur. I own 2 businesses. And so when COVID hit, I was more so focused on being an entrepreneur instead of playing basketball, just due to the fact I saw who was essential and who wasn't. And so when I saw people like losing jobs, losing their career in a lot of spaces, I saw a lot of other people getting rich. And I was like, how are these people getting rich? Like, it was through the stock market, e-commerce, real estate. And so that's when I started to like just think about things that were essential, and that's when I tapped into it. So now I just do stocks, real estate, e-commerce. I do a whole lot of things.
I got you. Now, so did you just not have the passion for ball anymore? Because I know a lot of people are trying to play ball and do other things, but you decided just to leave ball alone and just be an entrepreneur. So was the passion not there, or was it just you kind of all your passion just is in a different direction now?
Nah, so when COVID hit, I was grinding like every single day, just probably 3 days.
I remember.
Like 3 days, yeah, 3 days. And so then when I started learning more about the stock market, I saw somebody flip 10,000 to 2 million in 2 months. And I was like, hold on, they did what? And so when I saw that there was more of a guaranteed chance to become successful in being an entrepreneur rather than going the basketball route.
I see. And so I was going to say a lot of people, but it is a lot of people, and I'm one of those people included, that is sometimes hesitant to get into things like that because you don't really understand it, or it may seem difficult, or just a lot all at once. So like for someone who wants to get started, what would you say is kind of like the first thing to do to kind of like dip your toe in?
For the stock market?
Yeah, for the stock market. Yeah. For the stock market.
So for the stock market, I recommend just like starting with conservative investing. So there's different routes to go when it comes to investing in the stock market. If you want to go a conservative route, I recommend just getting shares of a stock, seeing how the stock moves and seeing how much your money goes up and down. And then another conservative way to invest in the stock market is by getting index funds. And so if you get an index funds, those grow about 10 to 15% a year. So if you have money just on the side doing whatever you want to do, if you just put it into a certain index fund, for the past 60 years, it's been growing 10 to 15% every year. And so that's my approach to if you want to just get started. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to like really tap into the money, I recommend doing options trading, and that's what I do.
Got you. And now, so I'm assuming one of them you need like kind of like more capital or more money to get started, and one you don't, or how does it work?
Nah, so it's honestly just depends on how much you're willing to invest and how much are you trying to make. I recommend people start with at least $500 to $1,000 when it comes to trading with options in the stock market, and that's how you'll see a little bit of gains. But obviously, the more money you put up, the more you'll make.
Got you. So how long have you been doing it now?
So
you said like right when COVID hit?
Nah, so when COVID hit, I was honestly door dashing. Like, people don't know that I literally used to door dash 7 days a week, and I would make about $2,800 a month because I literally worked 4 hours a day every single day. And so another thing that I don't praise is 9 to 5s. I don't really believe in 9 to 5s just due to the fact that you're not really getting paid on what you're worth. And so think about it like this. McDonald's is a $1 billion industry, right? Mm-hmm. But they only pay their workers $15 an hour. Mm-hmm. Now think about this. If there's no workers, there's no McDonald's. So why are they getting paid $15 an hour? Now, if you DoorDash, you're self-employed, right? And I'm making $25 to $30 an hour working 4 hours a day. And I'm getting I'm self-employed. Now, when you work that 9 to 5 or wherever you want to work, you're not really getting paid for your worth. And that's just my opinion on that.
I got you. You know what? I was that was kind of the conundrum I found myself in right before I was kind of forced into diving into like broadcasting and videography full time. I was working a 9 to 5. I was supervising the before and after school program, and I ended up getting fired. Some things I wasn't able to control, but I ended up getting fired. And it was I feel like it was kind of a blessing in disguise, because it was right around the time when I wasn't sure. Like I would be at work, and I would be people hitting me up like, yo, could you come take some flicks and you come do a video? And I'm like, man, I'm missing out on money, and I'm sitting here at work. And I was kind of like debating on what I wanted to do, and then I got fired, and I had no choice but to dive into this. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, and I don't really have any plans on going back to having a 9-to-5. I might, you know what I mean, sometimes I play with like getting just a little part-time job just to, you know, keep a little something steady, because, you know, sometimes being an entrepreneur can be up and down.
Yeah.
But I'm just not really interested in going back to 9-to-5. Have you ever had a 9-to-5?
No, I've never worked a job a day in my life.
Now, was it because you never wanted to, or you were just a basketball player, or what?
Nah, so my dad, he was a professional bowler. I said that on the last podcast, but he actually owns his own tax and accounting firm.
Okay.
And so just growing up, seeing my dad being an entrepreneur, that kind of gave me that same mindset. And so I always knew, even when I was hoping, that I would never work for somebody, because I don't want my life in somebody else's hands. And so just seeing my dad make all this money just being an entrepreneur, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go that route. And another thing was, like, when I was hoping, my goal was to take over the family business, and just like when I was done hoping, but then I actually just got into the stocks and the real estate, and then I just ran it up from there, and now I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Gotcha. Now let's get into real estate a little bit. That's something that not that everyone knows about real estate, but I feel like that's something that's a little bit more familiar. Stock, I feel like it's not a bad thing, but I feel like it's really hot and really trendy right now. But I feel like real estate is something that it's kind of been around. Real estate has as well, but stock is something that's been around, kind of like more popular, you know what I mean? How did you get into real estate?
And so the way I got into the real estate is I do actually wholesale real estate. And so I saw a lot of money being made in this industry, and I see people making all this money with no license, no credit, and barely any cash. So I'm like, okay, like these people is making 5-figure, 6-figure deals, like off one deal with no cash, no credit, no license. So I'm like, how are these people doing it? And it's actually wholesale real estate. So to kind of give you an understanding of what wholesale real estate is, it's when you get a property under contract from a seller. So let's say you're the seller, I'm the wholesaler, and John is the buyer. And so I'm targeting a distressed property, or something that has a tax lien, just some sort of distressed property, right? Let's say you want to sell your property for $38,000, and I'm like, no. Let's sell it for $27,000, and I'll get you a cash buyer. It's because you're gonna need that cash, or the bank is gonna take your home away. And so I'm gonna get it off your hands for $27,000 under a contract, and then assign this contract to a buyer. And when I assign this contract to a buyer, you put your own profit on there. So I'm gonna be like, okay, I got it under for 27. I'm gonna sell it for 50. And so if you sell it for 50, now look at your margin of your profit of when you sold it. I didn't put up no cash for this property. I didn't put up no credit. All I did was get the property under contract and assign it to a buyer. And your goal is to target cash buyers. So I'm targeting John. And when I targeted John, I now sold a property for $50,000, but got it for 27.
Okay. You seem very knowledgeable. I mean, obviously, this is what you do. You seem very knowledgeable. Was there you have any mentors in there, so you kind of just dove in and got all this knowledge on your own? Nah,
so what I did actually was, like, I'm a YouTube king. Like, I love YouTube. Okay. I'm not really the book person. Like, I'd probably be richer if I read books, if I'm being honest, but just reading books is not my forte. Like, I just love watching. I'm a visual learner. So the way I learned everything was from watching YouTube videos on different streams of income. I've actually mastered like 26 streams of income during the pandemic, but I'm just doing about 4 right now. And so when I saw all of this, I was learning it through YouTube and Instagram. Now, I don't have a real mentor, but I follow a few people on Instagram and just see what they do on a daily basis. And so when I see millionaires, I'm just gonna follow like what they do on a daily. And so once I see what they're doing, I just follow their game plan, and then I make it like just my own.
Got you. Now let's backtrack a little bit and talk about because I haven't really spoken to you much, honestly, just a couple times on Instagram. After the interview, I remember I came and filmed one of your workouts, and we kept in touch just kind of here and there. So how did your basketball season go in college?
So I actually didn't like have a basketball season.
Didn't play?
I never stepped foot on campus. And what's funny is, like, I got the scholarship to Cal Poly, right? But I never took a visit. That was funny. But I never stepped foot on a college campus, and everything was online for me. Okay,
that's crazy. I never knew that. I never knew. So what was your plan to kind of just do online until things kind of got back to normal and then go play, or?
Nah, so what my plan was originally, I was just going to do everything online. But when 2021 came, my mind just kind of got off basketball, just the money I was making being an entrepreneur. And so then once I started making like a significant amount of money, I was just like, I'm about to put my all into this. And then that's when I let the coaches know that I wasn't going to attend Cal Poly. And then I publicly announced it.
So no regrets at all?
Nah.
None. I'm happy for you, man. That's dope. A lot a lot of people your age, I mean, probably not with how much money you say you're making, but I was going to say a lot of people your age might be hesitant because it's kind of your identity, you know, when you grow up, but especially for somebody like you who was, you know, on a team that was on a big platform. And when you've done it your whole life, it's kind of your identity. So like stepping away from it is like, dang, people kind of know me as a hooper. Like now, what are they going to kind of know me as? But you already, you know what I'm saying? When you're making money, you don't really think about that, I would assume.
Yeah. And so it's like you can make millions in basketball. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's just I decided to take a different route.
I hear you. So what's it? Do you still play?
Nah.
Not at all. You don't even like no runs, no nothing.
Nah.
It looks like you're still keeping in shape though.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have expected that. 'Cause, I mean, you were one of the guys that like when I watch you play, like you could just not even watching you play, like even like watching you like warm up or come in like just a quick what's up, you could like feel the energy that you have when you play basketball and like how much you love it and just like watching you play defense and everything. And so for you to just step away, no regrets and like, nah, I don't miss that at all. That's crazy, bro. I feel like one day I'm gonna see you like nah, I'm back in school, I'm playing here, but like you're like, nah, I'm done with it.
Nah, yeah. It's just more so like whatever I do, I put my all into it. So like when I was on the court, I was giving my all 100% no matter what. And then now this different route, I'm just giving this my all, giving it 100%. And so another thing with me is I'm going to always bet on myself, whether it's basketball, life, anything. I always decide to bet on myself. And the reason why is if you bet on yourself 100% of the time, there's no choice but to succeed.
I hear you. And so now what's the name of your company and what exactly does it do?
Okay, so the first company I started was BMoney Enterprises, and the second company that I started was Prolific Investments. And so with Prolific Investments, I actually have a business partner. His name is Theron. Shout out my boy Theezy. So with the Prolific Investments company, that's where we do the stock market. We teach people how to trade with options in the stock market, and we also have a group chat that allows you to get direct access to us. So you get access to the trades we take, you get access to my long-term portfolio, you get to ask me any questions you want, and we have a variety of things in the group chat that allows you to just grow and learn as an individual.
So what's the, I guess it sounds like the overall and the end all be all for BMoney Enterprises is just to
that
help.
One's the Prolific Investment.
I'm sorry, for Prolific Investments just to help. It sounds like obviously to invest, but to help.
So we're pretty much a consulting company, and we just pretty much teach people how to make money. We have a group chat that costs $75 a month, and you'll get full access to me and my business partner on how to trade in the stock market. And now BMoney Enterprises, I have an exclusive group chat that I've recently just dropped, and that's where I teach people how to become an entrepreneur and do exactly what I did and follow my same steps. I've made bad investments, I've made great investments, I failed on a couple of things and I succeeded on a couple of things, and I just want to be able to teach people because I feel like my calling is to inspire. Like even when I played basketball, I was always the leader of my teams, and so I feel like I'm gonna be a leader of this generation to make money as well. And so inside the BMoney Enterprises exclusive group chat, we pretty much teach you how to become an entrepreneur. We teach the wholesale real estate, and you're gonna get access to all the connections that I made on my journey as an entrepreneur. And so I know a lot of people that make 6 to 7 figures a year doing a whole lot of things, and you'll get all that inside my group chat. And so you pretty much get the wholesale real estate, the entrepreneurship, access to all my connections, and then I give some free game in there as well.
Got you. And what are the numbers looking like on both of those? You got a lot of people signed up for those yet, or?
So the Prolific Investments, the stock group chat, is about 100 people in there right now. And then the BMoney Enterprises, we literally just started. We got about 20 people in there right now.
That's dope, man. That's dope. What was it? I know a lot of different people are becoming entrepreneurs now. What was it like kind of getting your business set up, and like what were all those steps like?
So when I first started my business, it was like, I wouldn't say it was hard just because I had my dad. And so he helped me like set up my corporations. Now what was hard was like setting up the business in general, like what am I gonna do, what am I gonna teach, how am I gonna charge people, things like that. And so it was a lot of ups and downs when starting, but now it's starting to just like relax and run smoothly.
As I said, man, yeah, it'd be like that, man. I mean, it sounds like you're making a lot of money. Obviously you are, but I mean, a lot of times from the outside looking in, it looks like a lot of times like if you know somebody that's like got a clothing line that they just started, or even me, like, you know, being on the radio and stuff like that, sometimes it can look like, oh, it's dope, this dude's super lit, and it is dope. It's a lot of fun. but it's a lot of lows, a lot of highs, and the
Yeah.
highs feel great and it's amazing, but them lows is like, man, I don't know what I'm doing over here. You know what I'm saying?
Make you feel depressed. But
They
like
really do.
one thing that I will say is a lot of people just want handouts. A lot of people be like, oh, put me on game. Or what do you do? Like,
Facts.
and they want results in one day. Like I didn't get results in one day. It took me a long time to get through results. And although it may not seem like a long time since I started in January of this year, but it's like there's a lot of ups and downs that I went through that kind of made me the person that I am today. And so you're not going to get rich in one day. I've tried that. You're not going to be successful in one day. It takes time, and you got to trust that process and put in the work.
And I'm assuming it takes a lot of patience as well, which
Most definitely.
I honestly, it's crazy. Like I have patience for like kids, but not really for like adults and adult type things. You know what I'm saying? And so I bring up patience because I would assume you have to like put money in and just let it sit and not touch it. And even when it seems like it's a great time to pull it out, sometimes I would assume you got to just let it sit and just let it rock out.
Most definitely. Now, one thing I will say is I don't have a favorite when it comes to either the stock market or real estate because there's pros and cons to it. So with the stock market, I'm not going to say you're going to make money every day, but you have the ability to make money every single day, Monday through Friday. And with real estate, it's like you don't make money every single day because you're on the phone, you're texting, you're doing all this stuff. But that one deal can be how much you make in a month doing the stock market. And so recently, I started a wholesale real estate team because I don't have the time to actually do wholesale real estate, run my business, do the stock market, and all this other stuff. So I actually hired a team. And so a special person on my team, her name is Jahira. She closed her first deal for $16,000. And so we got the property under contract. Another great thing about wholesale real estate, before I explain it, is you can do it from home. And that's what I'm really preaching, just pandemic-proof assets or jobs. Because when the pandemic hit, what are you gonna do? Like if another one hit, are you still gonna be able to make money? And so with the wholesale real estate, she got a property under contract for $38,000, and we sold it for a $16,000 profit. And so we got it May 5th and closed it 17 days later.
Wow.
And so it's like we made $16,000 on one deal, but like you can make $16,000 over the course of a month in the stock market as well. So I don't really have a favorite.
I see. And you know, I've been saying for the longest time that I'm a get into the stocks and I finally sit down with somebody and get it figured out. And I've been saying it for like really since it got popular, honestly. But I don't know, man. I've always been that way, man. And it's crazy because like you can make a lot of money doing it, but for me, it's no excuse. I'm gonna get into it eventually.
You just gotta come tap in with me.
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna have to. But for me, like I was even like that in school. Like if it wasn't something like English where I could read and write, or it was something like creative where I could like think and like create something, I really didn't have like the mental stamina for it. I really didn't. But stocks is something that like it's too much money, man. Like I'm watching people like you and like one of my cousins and so many different people like really getting bread. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's like stocks don't really take that much of your time either, especially if you're in my group chat. It's not going to take time. Like me personally, I spend about 30 minutes plotting out my charts, and I only trade for an hour every single day. So like I can honestly live off the stock market if I wanted, but my goal is to become a billionaire because I want to help so many people. But just going back to the stock market, it doesn't take that much time. You're not going to sit like behind a computer all day, but it's like even if you did sit behind a computer all day, you're going to make more money than you'll ever think because it's like I want to discipline myself to eventually trade for only 15 minutes. The pros that trade in the stock market only trade from 6:30 to 6:45. Right now, I personally trade from 6:30 to 7:30. And like, yeah, some stuff can crack off later in the day, but my goal is to try to just hammer it right then and there. So it's like my goal every day is to probably make about $1,000 to $2,000 a day in the stock market.
Is the morning like the hot time, or you said something can crack off later on?
It's because 6:30 to 8:30 is when the stock market is way more volatile, so you can make a lot of money. And then in the middle of the day, it gets slow. At the end of the day, it kind of picks up. So when it comes to options trading in the stock market, you can grow your money exponentially. And so if you get, let's just say you take the stock Apple, right? If you buy one contract of that stock, one contract equals 100 shares. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with the stock market, but one share, 100 shares, however many shares you have is how much you'll make just regularly investing. So if you got 100 shares of a stock and the stock moves $1, you make $100. And so if you trade with options, you get one contract. Now you're getting like if you get 10 contracts of a stock, you'll get 1,000 per move. And so if you get 10 contracts of a stock and that one stock moves $1, you make $1,000. Wow. That's why I love options, because it grows exponentially. So instead of making $100, you make 1,000, and a stock can move $1 in like 5 seconds. And so it just all depends on how you calculate it, because you got to take calculated risk in the stock market. So I've taken a lot of L's too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm starting to turn it up.
What was the biggest L you took?
You don't want to know. It's bad. So like, I tried to go all in because I was trying to get rich in one day, and that did not work out, and I will not do it again. The most I ever lost in one complete day was, I think, like 16 to 20,000 in one day. And that's when I was like, so just to kind of give you a backstory, when I first started in the stock market with the options, I made 5,000 my first day off of $2,000. And I was like, hold on, like, I'm about to do this for the rest of my life. I said that the first day. Second day, hit for 3,000. Like that first week, I made $14,000. I'm like, my life has changed. So I made that 14,000, correct? The very next day, the next week, lost it all. Lost it all. I
Trying
was
to go
like,
big or
wow.
what?
Yeah, just I wasn't trading with risk management. And then once I started just mastering down on it, and this was before I even had the education that I have now that I made 14, but it was like, now I take like a limited amount of contracts. I trade with risk management. And so when I started getting a little good again, I was just like, man, I'm about to take a lot of contracts, get richer. I'm about to make 100,000 in a day. I took them contracts. I lost so fast. It was all bad. Just don't go all in the stock market. Don't do it.
That's tough. I mean, is it, I guess as long as you don't go back, I was going to say it probably comes with the game, but I guess if you don't try to go too hard, then it won't happen, I guess.
Yeah, so it's like if you actually trade with rules, you're not going to lose that much money. So let's just say you put up $1,000 on a stock. In my group chat, you're not going to lose more than $200. And the reason why is because we trade with a 20% stop loss. And so what that means is if you are willing to invest $1,000 into a stock on this day and the stock isn't going good, I'm going to tell you to exit that stock, and you're only going to lose at max $200. But the gains are limitless. So you can put up 1,000 and make, let's just say, $800. But you can put up 1,000 and you're only going to lose 200 if you join my group chat, because I tell you when to enter and I tell you when to exit, whether it's a winning or a losing trade.
Got you. Sounds like a perfect setup, man. I'm gonna definitely have to get tapped in with you, man.
Most definitely.
Is there? Go ahead and tell everybody where to find you and your business and your companies and everything, man.
Yeah. So pretty much, I have websites, but I'd rather you guys just go follow me on Instagram. My Instagram for my business is BMoney_Enterprises. And so if you go follow that, I post every single day on my story. I keep everybody updated with my post. And if you guys want to come tap in with me, you can just click the link in my bio, and you can either join my Prolific Investments group chat for the stocks, or you can come join my exclusive group chat with BMoney Enterprises. Both group chats make money, so I definitely recommend you get in both, because regardless, you're going to make thousands if you come join with me.
That's what's up, man. I knew this was gonna be real educational, man. That's why I seen. Like I said, I've been tapped into what you're doing, but the most recent post you put up, I forget exactly what you said. I think you was like in front of the crib talking about like everything that you got going on. And I was like, oh, I gotta have him back on the show, man. He was my first guest. It was like it's a perfect time, man. So I appreciate you coming back doing and chopping it up with me again, bro.
Most definitely.
Definitely dropped some game. I hope y'all listened to the whole interview, man. He was definitely dropping gems from start to finish, man. It's been another episode of On the Mic with Michael Flix. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Take care.
Yes, sir.